Levittown is a census-designated place and planned community in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, United States, within the Philadelphia metropolitan area. The population was 52,983 at the 2010 census. It is 40 feet above sea level. Though not a municipality, it is sometimes recognized as the largest suburb of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. It was planned and built by Levitt and Sons. The brothers Bill Levitt and architect Alfred Levitt designed its typical houses. History: the majority of the land on which it is built was purchased in 1951. Levitt and Sons only built 6 models of house in Levittown, all single-family dwellings with lawns: the Levittowner, the Rancher, the Jubilee, the Pennsylvanian, the Colonial and the Country Clubber, with only modest exterior variations. The homes were moderately priced and required only a low down payment. Construction of Levittown began in February 1952, soon after completion of Levittown, New York, located on Long Island. Levittown, Pennsylvania was the second Levittown built by William J. Levitt, who is often credited as the creator of the modern American suburb. To speed up construction, Levitt and Sons perfected a 26-step rationalized building method that was essentially an assembly line type of home building. The house remained stationary, while the construction workers moved from house to house. Each worker had one task, such as pouring slabs, framing, installing electric sockets or installing washing machines. This highly regimented process enabled Levitt's workers to produce a finished house every 16 minutes. Construction of the homes commenced in 1952 and when completed in 1958, 17,311 homes were built. What set Levittown apart from other developments at the time was that it was built as a complete community. Levitt and Sons designed neighborhoods with traffic-calming curvilinear roads, in which there were no four-way intersections. Each neighborhood had within its boundaries a site donated by Levitt and Sons for a public elementary school. Locations for churches and other public facilities were set aside on main thoroughfares such as the Levittown Parkway, likewise donated by the builder to religious groups and other organizations. Other amenities included Olympic-sized public pools, parks, greenbelts, baseball fields and playgrounds, and a shopping center located in Tullytown Borough that was considered large and modern at the time of its construction. The first set of 4 sample homes were put on display in a swatch of land near the future Levittown Shop-O-Rama, and an estimated 30,000 people viewed them in that first weekend. Residents were first expected to comply with a lengthy list of rules and regulations regarding the upkeep of their homes and use of their property. 2 of these rules included a prohibition on hanging laundry out to dry on Sunday and not allowing homeowners to fence off their yards. These proved unenforceable over time, particularly when backyard pools became financially accessible to the working class and privacy concerns drove many to fence off their yards. In the years since Levitt and Sons ended construction, 3- and 4-story garden apartments, and a number of non-Levitt owner-occupied houses have been built in Levittown. Levitt and Sons would not sell homes to African Americans. Levitt did not consider himself to be a racist, considering housing and racial relations entirely separate matters. However, this did not prevent a European American family from reselling a home to an African American family, and Levittown's first black couple, William and Daisy Myers, bought a home in the Dogwood Hollow section in 1957. Their move to Levittown was marked with racist harassment and mob violence, which required intervention by state authorities. This led to an injunction and criminal charges against the harassers, while Myers and their supporters refused to surrender and received national acclaim for their efforts. For instance, Daisy Myers has been hailed as the Rosa Parks of the North, who helped expose the northern states' problems with racial inequality of that time. Daisy Myers later wrote a book about her family's experiences. She died December 5, 2011, in York, PA. The community's otherwise placid exterior was again disturbed during the so-called suburban gas riots of June 1979 in the wake of the Camp David peace accords, which resulted in a second embargo by Arab oil-producing nations. The unrest occurred June 24, 25, 1979, as lines swelled and tempers flared in the heart of Levittown at an intersection known as 5 Points, a location surrounded by 6 service stations, 2 of which were severely damaged by vandalism in the riots. The 2 days of riots made national headlines and were mentioned in the draft of an address to the nation that was to have been delivered by President Jimmy Carter on July 5, 1979. A baseball team from Levittown won the Little League World Series in 1960. Levittown American beat an opponent from Fort Worth, Texas, to win the honor. The Levittown Shopping Center, located in Tullytown, was unusually designed. 2 parallel strips of stores faced the parking lot with a courtyard that had green spaces, benches, and entrances to the stores. The center had 1 large anchor department store as well as staple stores of a growing suburban demand. The shopping center began a slow decline in the mid-1970s from which it never recovered with the building of the Oxford Valley Mall. The mall, located just north of Levittown, in Langhorne and Middletown Township, drew shoppers away from the older Levittown facility, given Oxford Valley's much larger size and enclosed shopping environment. In 2002, the redeveloped side of the Shopperama was reopened as the Levittown Town Center. The completed facility contains 468,675 square feet of retail space. Of the 5 public pools built by Levitt Sons and operated by the Levittown Public Recreation Association, 4 were closed in 2002 with the exception of 1 located in the Pinewood section. LPRA headquarters of this prototypical post-war suburb of sometimes mythic importance have been the focus of historic preservation efforts. Since 2002, studies have been underway to establish the Levittown Historic District. Since its inception in 1988, the Bucks County St. Patrick's Day Parade has been held in Levittown. Every year, the parade steps off from St. Joseph the Worker Church, and proceeds 2 miles on New Falls Road to Conwell Egan Catholic High School. Municipalities and sections. Levittown is not an incorporated place, though efforts in the early 1950s were made to incorporate. Some Levittown residents feared that incorporation would lead to higher taxes, by robbing the prospective municipality of a commercial tax base. Levittown's 42 neighborhoods are found in parts of 4 separate municipalities: Bristol Township, Falls Township, Middletown Township, Borough of Tullytown. The names of the streets within each section uniformly begin with the same letter that begins the name of the section in question except for the section of Green Lynn, which was not constructed by Bill Levitt. This plan offers a good clue as to where any particular street might be located. X and Z are not used for section or street names. As there are more than 24 section names, road is used for street names in sections to the west of Edgeley Road, lane is used in those sections to the east. Sections are surrounded by a drive with the same name as the section. For example, the Pinewood section is circled by Pinewood Drive, while Snowball Gate is surrounded by Snowball Drive. Some sections have their drive broken into multiple parts, with similar names. Forsythia Gate has Forsythia Drive North and Forsythia Drive South. Almost all other roads or lanes in the sections connect on one or both ends to the drive of that section. In some sections, such as Golden Ridge, the shape of the section prevents the drive from surrounding the section, or allowing all roads in the section from connecting to the drive. The drives of adjacent sections are frequently connected with small connector streets. In addition, small connector streets are used to connect the section drive with a nearby main thoroughfare. The names of these small connectors typically start with one of the letters from the adjacent sections, and tend to have a name reminiscent of their purpose or their location. Some examples: Learning Lane connects Lakeside and Pinewood, and borders an elementary school. Short Lane connects Stonybrook and Farmbrook. Not all small connector streets are named. Red Rose Gate, Forsythia Gate, and Snowball Gate are collectively known as the Gates. Lakeside sits next to Levittown Lake. Magnolia Hill is on a prominent hill. Mill Creek is found next to a creek by the same name. Education: Middletown residents are served by public schools run by the Neshaminy School District. Bristol Township public schools are managed by the Bristol Township School District. Falls Township and Tullytown Borough residents are served by the Pensbury School District. Some students attend schools run by Roman Catholic, Lutheran, Evangelical Protestant and Quaker organizations, in and around Levittown. Geography: Levittown is located at 40°9 euro squared 15 euro cubed and 74° 50 euro squared 59 euro cubed W. Levittown lies in the southern end of Bucks County, between Philadelphia and Trenton, New Jersey. Downtown Philadelphia is approximately 22 miles away. It is part of the Philadelphia metropolitan area. It is adjacent to and nearly surrounds Fairless Hills, a suburban community more modest in scale, but that shares many of Levittown's characteristics. Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority Regional Rail serves Levittown to the south at its Levittown-Tullytown station, and to the north at its Langhorne and Woodbourne stations. Interstate 95 runs to the north and west of Levittown. The Pennsylvania Turnpike runs southwest of Levittown, and US 1 runs to the north, carrying traffic directly into downtown Trenton. The nearest international airport is Philadelphia International Airport, approximately 34 miles southwest of Levittown. The nearest Amtrak station is just across the Delaware River in Trenton, just over 9 miles to the east. Though a steel mill once operated by U.S. Steel Corporation provided employment in nearby Fairless Hills, many Levittoners have historically commuted by automobile or train to Philadelphia, some to Trenton, still others to more distant locales in as many as 4 states. Just over 10% of employed Levittoners both live and work in the community. According to the United States Census Bureau, the CDP has a total area of 10.2 square miles, of which 0.5 km squared is water. Demographics: as of the 2010 census, Levittown was 87.7% white, 3.6% Black or African American, 0.2% Native American, 1.7% Asian, 0.3% were some other race, and 1.6% were 2 or more races. 5.1% of the population was of Hispanic or Latino ancestry. As of the census of 2000, there were 53,966 people, 18,603 households, and 14,510 families residing in the CDP. The population density was 5,309.5 people per square mile. There were 19,044 housing units at an average density of 1,873.7 m². The racial makeup of the CDP was 97.9% white, 0.35% African American, 0.15% Native American, 0.95% Asian, 0.04% Pacific Islander, 0.86% from other races, and 1.17% from 2 or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 1.21% of the population. There were 18,603 households, out of which 35.8% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 60.7% were married couples living together, 12.3% had a female householder with no husband present, and 22.0% were non-families. 17.8% of all households were made up of individuals, and 8.5% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.89 and the average family size was 3.28. In the CDP, the population was spread out, with 26.4% under the age of 18, 7.8% from 18 to 24, 30.4% from 25 to 44, 20.9% from 45 to 64, and 14.5% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 37 years. For every 100 females there were 96.3 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 92.6 males. The median income for a household in the CDP was $52,514, and the median income for a family was $57,220. Males had a median income of $40,411 versus $29,685 for females. The per capita income for the CDP was $20,047. About 3.1% of families and 4.6% of the population were below the poverty line, including 5.6% of those under the age of 18 and 3.5% of those 65 and older. 85.4% of Levittown residents ages 25 or older had at least a high school diploma, while 13.4% had at least a bachelor's degree. Notable natives and residents: Keith Armstrong, former NFL player and current special teams coach for the Miami Dolphins; Susan Barnett, anchor of the CBS 3 Philadelphia Evening News; Anna Berger, Secretary-Treasurer of the Service Employees International Union; Jim Corley, Bucks County Commissioner and Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania; David A. Christian, U.S. Army Captain and decorated Vietnam veterans; John P. Connolly, actor and former executive head of the AFTRA and Actors Equity Unions; Stephen E. D'Souza, Hollywood screenwriter and director; Mike Fitzpatrick, U.S. Representative for the 8th District; Eric Goldberg, Disney animator and director; Jerry Massey, evangelical Christian author; Joe McEwing, former Major League Baseball player; Bill O'Neill, four-time All-American 10-pin bowler for Saginaw Valley State University who is now competing on the PBA Tour; Robert Schooley, creator of Kim Possible; Jim Schumann, Daytime Emmy Award winner for Outstanding Directing in an Animated Program; Mark S. Schweiker, Republican former governor of Pennsylvania; Steve Slayton, running back for the NFL's Miami Dolphins; David Wasserkinen, drummer for rock band The Hooters; Troy Vincent, former NFL defensive back, attended Pennsbury High School; Earl Twirl Williams, professional basketball player. References, notes. Further reading: Anderson, David, Levittown is Burning, Gas Line Riot and the Decline of the Blue-Collar American Dream, Labor, Studies in Working Class History in the Americas; Caldwell, Christopher, Levittown to Littleton, Seclusion of Affluent Suburbs Prevents Normal Socialization for Children, National Review; Duncan, Susan Kirsch, Levittown, The Way We Were, Maple Hill Press. ISBN 0-930,545-18-4, Dubaya, J., Black Leather and Blue Denim, a 50s Novel, Cyber Read Publishing, ISBN 1-931-921-76-8, Gans, Herbert J. The Levittonians, Ways of Life and Politics in a New Suburban Community, Columbia University Press. ISBN 0-231-05571-4, Goes, Sam, Bruno, 16 and Black and White Film, Harris, Diane, ed. Second Suburb, Levittown, Pennsylvania 429 pages. Scholarly essays, oral histories, and other writings on the town. Hurst, Richard, My Bay, Christopher Street, ISSN 0146-7921, Jackson, Kenneth T. Crabgrass Frontier, The Suburbanization of the United States. New York, Oxford University Press. ISBN A0-19-504983-7. Kimmel, Chad, Levittown, Pennsylvania, A Sociological History, University of Western Michigan Dissertation, Crass, Alfred C., Growing Together in Spirituality, Pastor and Parish Have a Checkup, Christian Century, Levittown, Voices of the Millennium, Harcourt School Publishers, Popenoe, David, The Suburban Environment, Sweden and the United States, University of Chicago Press. ISBN 0-226-67542-4, Weichler, Louis, The First Stone, A Memoir of the Racial Integration of Levittown, Pennsylvania, Grounds for Growth Press. ISBN 0-615-12565-4, Ethereal, W.D., The Man Who Loved Levittown, University of Pittsburgh Press, ISBN 0-8229-3520-1, Isner, John, pen name J. Dubaya, author of 31 books. Lived in Dogwood Hollow from 1954 €59. His action-adventure work Black Leather and Blue Denim, a 50s novel, is set in Levittown, PA. External links: Levittown, Building the Suburban Dream, a website of a 2003 exhibit about Levittown at the State Museum of Pennsylvania, Levittown Community Profile, Levittown Detailed Profile, Coming Home, Levittown Revisited, A photographic essay by former Levitt owner Joan Klochko, who has lived abroad for many years. Levitttownalive.com, community website for Levittown and surrounding areas. BucksCountyAlive.com, community website for Bucks County, PA. Film images of Levittown's construction. More film images of Levittown's construction. Mastrule, Diane, a bit worn, but still solid. Philadelphia Inquirer, Middletown Township Millennium Park and Recreation Plan, including a map of Levittown's Greenbelt Parks in Middletown Township on pages 161–62. Metropolitan Philadelphia Population and Geography, The People of Levittown, Pennsylvania. A slideshow by the New York Times, documents on integration in Levittown from the Pennsylvania State Archives.